He wanted freedom. Not just a change of scenery, not just a new season. He wanted distance. Distance from rules, distance from expectations, distance from the quiet, steady love that felt too ordinary. So one day, he stood in the courtyard of his father's house, where the same sun had risen over the same walls for as long as he could remember, and he said the words that had been forming in his chest for years. Give me my share. Not later, not when the time is right, not when you're gone. Now. It was more than money. It was a statement, a cut through the bond between them. For a moment, everything held still. The servants lowered their eyes. The wind moved through the trees as if it didn't want to listen. The older brother tightened his jaw and stared at the ground. And the father looked at his son. No shouting, no threats, no forcing him to stay. Just a quiet grief and a strange kind of respect. Because love, real love, doesn't cage. It doesn't control. It leaves the door unlocked. So the father divided what he had. He placed the inheritance into his son's hands, and the younger son closed his fingers around it, like a man finally holding his life. A few days later, he left. He didn't look back much. It's easier not to look back when you're convinced you're running towards something better. The road out of the village felt like a promise. Every step felt like relief. And behind him, his father stood where fathers stand, watching. Not because he didn't trust his son, but because he loved him. And love remembers the shape of someone even when they become a silhouette in the distance. The city was louder than he imagined. It swallowed him up with lights and music and crowds that didn't ask questions. Nobody knew his family name. Nobody cared where he came from. And at first, that felt like victory. He spent like the future was endless. He bought meals for strangers and drinks for friends he just met. He laughed louder than he ever laughed at home. He wore new clothes, new cologne, new confidence, and people loved him for it. Or at least, they loved what he provided. He became the center of every table, the hero of every night. He told himself, this is life. But freedom without wisdom doesn't stay freedom for long. It turns into a hunger that grows. The more you feed it, the more it demands. And one day, the money got thinner. Not all at once, just enough that he started counting, just enough that he started noticing, just enough that the generosity stopped being fun and started being necessary. He tried to keep the image alive, the image of the guy who always had enough, the guy who always paid, the guy who always smiled. But images crumble. Then, as if the world had planned it, everything got worse. A famine hit the land. Work disappeared. Food became expensive. The city that had once opened its arms to him suddenly became cold. And in that cold, he learned something brutal. When the money is gone, the crowd is gone. The laughter fades, the doors close, the messages stop. He reached out to people who had once called him brother, and they couldn't hear him anymore. Not because they were too busy, because he wasn't useful. Days turned into nights. Nights turned into the kind of mornings where the sun feels like it's accusing you. He searched for work, any work. He swallowed his pride, walked into places he once would have laughed at, and asked, "Do you need help? Do you need someone? Anything?" Eventually, someone answered. Not with kindness, with opportunity. The kind of opportunity that doesn't restore you, it just uses you. He was sent to the fields to feed pigs. For some people, that might not sound like much, but for him, it was the bottom. Mud under his feet, filth on his hands, the air thick with the smell of it, and hunger. A hunger that didn't care about pride, a hunger that made his stomach twist so hard he couldn't think straight. He stared at the food he was feeding to animals and realized he wanted it. He wanted what the pigs were eating, and no one gave him anything. No one. Not a friend, not a stranger, not even the man who hired him. Just silence. And in that silence, something happened. Not a miracle in the sky, not a voice from the clouds, just a moment of honesty. A moment where he stopped blaming his father, stopped blaming the city, stopped blaming life, and looked straight at himself. For the first time in a long time, he remembered home. He remembered the smell of bread in the morning. He remembered the steady hands of servants carrying water. He remembered the sound of laughter that didn't cost anything. He remembered safety, and he whispered, barely able to speak through the ache in his throat, "In my Father's house, even the hired servants have more than enough." He looked down at himself, the dirt, the torn clothes, the shame, and he knew he had sinned, not just against his father, against heaven, against love, against the truth. Then he formed a sentence that felt like a knife and a lifeline at the same time. "I will arise and go to my father." Not because he deserved it, but because he had nowhere else to go. He rehearsed the words as if the words could protect him from rejection. "Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Make me like one of your hired servants." He couldn't bargain his way home. He could only return. So he stood up, his legs weak, his stomach empty, his eyes burning, and he started walking. The road back felt longer than the road out. Every step carried a memory. Every mile gave him time to imagine what might happen. Maybe his father would turn him away. Maybe the servants would spit at him. Maybe his older brother would be waiting with anger in his eyes. Maybe he would get what he deserved. And maybe that would be fair. But he kept walking, because despair had finally done what comfort never could. It had made him willing. Then, one day, the village appeared on the horizon. He stopped. The air felt different. The wind carried familiar sounds, familiar smells. His heart pounded as if it was trying to escape his chest. Before he could take another step, he saw someone. Far off, a figure standing in the distance, watching the road. And the figure moved. Not slowly, not cautiously. The figure ran. An older man, running, not caring about dignity, not caring about what anyone would think, not caring about the dust or the uneven ground, running like love runs when it recognizes what it has been waiting for. The sun froze, because that couldn't be, but it was. The father closed the distance and reached him. Before the son could fall to his knees, before he could even get the first words out, arms wrapped around him, strong arms, warm arms, a hold that didn't feel like punishment, a hold that felt like home. The son's body shook. He tried to speak, voice cracking as he pushed the words out like a confession he owed the air. "Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son." But the father didn't let him finish, not because the confession didn't matter, but because the son didn't understand what kind of love he was returning to. The father turned and called out to the servants with urgency, like the moment was too precious to waste. "Quick, bring the best robe, not a robe from the closet, the best one. Cover him. He's not going to stand here in shame. Put a ring on his finger, not because he earned it, but because he belongs. Put sandals on his feet, because slaves go barefoot, and my son is not a slave." Then the father said the words that broke open the whole story. "We will celebrate." Not because the son had proven himself, but because the son had been lost, and now he was found. Dead, and now alive. The courtyard filled with movement. Music rose into the air. Tables were set. Food was brought. Laughter returned. And for a moment, it looked like the ending everyone wants. A broken man restored. A family reunited. A father smiling through tears. But outside the celebration, there was another son. The older brother was coming back from the fields. He heard the music before he saw the lights. He asked a servant what was happening. When he heard the answer, when he heard that his younger brother had returned and the father had thrown a feast, something inside him turned hard. He didn't step into the house. He refused. When the father heard, he did something unexpected again. He went out. The father came out of the celebration for the older son. He spoke gently, like a man who knows how to handle bruised hearts. "Come in." But the older brother's pain poured out like water that had been trapped for years. "All these years I've served you. I never disobeyed. I stayed, and you never gave me even a small celebration. But this son of yours, who wasted everything, comes back and you kill the fattened calf for him?" That wasn't just anger. That was a worldview. A worldview that says love must be earned, that says goodness is a transaction, that says loyalty should be rewarded. And it exposed something terrifying. You can live in your father's house and still have a heart that doesn't know your father. The father looked at him. No condemnation, no shame, just truth wrapped in tenderness. "My son, you are always with me. Everything I have is yours. You never had to earn my love. You were never an employee in this house. You were a son. But we had to celebrate because your brother was dead, and now he's alive. He was lost, and now he was found." And that's where the story ends. Not with a clear answer about whether the older brother went inside, but with a door open. Because the parable is not only about the younger son, it's about the father, and it's about two kinds of lostness. One that runs away, and one that stays close, but stays cold. One that breaks rules, and one that trusts rules more than relationship. One that feels far from God, and one that thinks it's near because it's been good. But both need the same thing, the Father. Because the heart of the story is not, "Look how far the son fell." The heart of the story is, "Look how the Father runs." This is what grace looks like. It doesn't excuse the pigpen. It doesn't pretend sin is sin. But when repentance turns someone's feet towards home, grace runs to meet them. It covers shame. It restores identity. It celebrates life returning. And for the older brother, grace doesn't ignore his bitterness. It comes out to him too. It invites him. It says, "Come in, you belong." So here's the question the story leaves hanging in the air. Where are you? Are you the younger son, running, spending, chasing something that keeps disappearing? Are you tired? Are you empty? Are you in a place you never thought you'd be? Then hear this. Home is still there, and the Father is watching the road. Or are you the older brother, staying near but resenting, doing right but feeling unseen, obeying but secretly angry that grace is given to people who don't deserve it? Then hear this too. The Father comes out for you as well. He doesn't just want your behavior, He wants your heart. Because the invitation is the same for both sons. Not prove yourself, not pay me back, not earn your way into the house. The invitation is, come home. And when you do, you'll find that the arms that should have pushed you away are the same arms that have been waiting, ready to embrace you. And the door is still open for you.